Well, greetings. Morning. Just thinking of something. How I'm always talking about the people that listen to NPR and they're so deceived. They listen to Ian Masters and they're talking about Iran or they're talking about Ukraine or they're talking about any modern problem. They can't see the CIA, unfortunately. If they are an NPR'd Ian Masters, we hate Donald Trump. We are totally focused on Donald Trump type crowd. They cannot see the CIA. They don't have a real critique of the Greater Israel Project and what that's about. And because of that, they're blind. It's like talking to, a child or a hyper partisan person, someone who's a real controlled Democrat or a controlled Republican. They can't see outside of those partisan lines. So it's frustrating. And that's over on a kind of what you would call, quote unquote, the left or progressive side of things. Many of them have been NPR'd and can no longer see the CIA. Are even like Palantir, even though they hate Donald Trump, they can never seem to mention any of the contractors or people in his cabinet that are kind of controlling him. They don't have a critique of Howard Lutnick, who is pretty much running. If you ever look at Donald Trump, whenever he goes to a press secretary, whenever he goes to give a presser, Howard Lutnick's right over his shoulder. So Howard Lutnick, Jared Kushner, Steve Whitcomb, they don't have a critique of any of these people. The people are actually handling Trump. So their critique of Trump also is kind of vapid, not telling you anything, doesn't get you anywhere. Okay, and that's all the No Kings protesters are pretty much in that camp. You don't ever hear them mention any actual current political players. Okay, well, unfortunately, there's a huge group of people over on the quote unquote conservative side of things, the kind of quote unquote Republican, quote unquote Christian side of America right now. Many of them are just as deceived as the NPR crowd, the NPR did. So those who have been NPR tarded, that's one side, that's the left. But over on the right, unfortunately, conservatives, many of them are completely duped by this we have to be nice to Israel kind of thing, by this idea that the current state of Israel actually reflects real Jews, like somehow ancient Israelites are somehow connected to the European invaders that are pretending to be Jews now. In other words, Zionist. So they don't ever seem to say this word Zionist. They think that that there's this Hamas, this giant boogeyman known as Hamas out there, right? They have no analysis, no critique of Israel's history. They don't ever seem to say the word Zionist. So, see, since they can't see Zionist and they can't see what the CIA and Mossad are doing in the Levant, they don't ever use that word phrase, the Levant. They don't have any. They think of Israel. They just think of in their Bible. Somewhere in my Bible, there's this thing called Israel, Jeff, and Jesus and Jews and Christians. We're all the same, Jeff. We're all the same. All Jesus and Jews and Christians, and we're all just the same. And just God, if you don't stand with Israel now, God's gonna smite you down. And derp, derp, derpy derp. And they don't even know that actually modern Israel has nothing to do with real Israelites. The real Israelites are in the diaspora, and they don't act like fascist, murdering swine Zionists. Zionism was started by Theodore Herzl. It's a whole movement. You need to study it. You need to learn about it because it's taken over Israel. And a lot of these people that are actually, if you look, I don't care where they're descended from, it's how they act now. So I don't care if you're a Canaanite or an Edomite or some leftover, maybe you think you really are real from Jacob, real Israelite. Yeah, okay. You have to prove it. You can't. But you know how you'll prove it? By how you act and by what you say, what you believe. Jews that follow the Torah, Jews that have a good rabbi, Jews that don't hate other people, don't want to murder and rape, don't condone rape. They might be good Jews. So there are real Jews, and the real Jews are going to have to take Jerusalem back. They're going to have to take parts of former Judea, former Palestine. They're going to have to take that back from these fake Canaanite Jews that are there now. They're not real Jews. The Canaanites and the Zionists are evil, deceived by Satan and Baal. A lot of them are Baal worshiping, child sacrificing, child uh, actually pedivores. They're not only pedophiles, they're pedivores. They're demons. And many of the Christians in America, unfortunately, believe that. Believe that the pedivore demons that are part of some weird hate everything in Palestine now that's not just hardcore them, that they are somehow representative of real Judeo-Christians kind of thing. There's going to be some beautiful harmony between Judeo-Christians. Well, some Jews might be converted to Christianity, but they're going to be converted to what's really a real rebel Jewish movement and not some fake post-Zionist, weird American distorted version of Christianity that a lot of people are talking about. Okay, so Jesus was a rebel Jew. Him and John the Baptist were murdered by Canaanites. Those are the same Canaanites, or some of the same type of people. The modern version of them are what has deceived many Americans and have to supporting the Likud party, to supporting the types of evil demons like Ben Gavir. If you have no critique of Ben Gavir or Smotrich or the Likud party, you've been deceived by Satan. You're not really a Christian, unfortunately. You're fake. You're part of the evil that needs to be destroyed before the real movement to establish the third temple can even begin. Right? The people that are calling for what's happening in the name of Greater Israel right now is evil and demonic and needs to be replaced by real Jews. Real Jews are going to make a comeback, and they're going to seize that area, not from Islam. Now here's another trick. These demonic people have deceived the Christians into hating Islam. And they've deceived some of Islamic people to hate Christians too. So one thing the Jews are trying to do is to stir up a fight between Islam and the Goys, between all the Goys. If you're a Christian, what they say is that Jesus is boiling in shit in hell. That's what the people that you're supporting now, the Talmudic, satanic, fake, Canaanite Israelis who are trying to take over now and murder and rape and torture all the locals, they are deceived. They are deceivers themselves. They're evil deceivers. And in their Talmud, their version of their holy book, Jesus is burning in excrement. Those Zionist Jews have no respect for Christians. They're killing Christians and destroying Christian monuments in Lebanon. But see, the Nazi idiot Christians in America don't know about that. They can't see that because they're deceived. They're deceived by Satan. So and Baal. So have mercy on them. They're deceived by child destroying demons, and we have to have mercy on them and rebuke them, rebuke their words, rebuke their deception, and pray for the real spirit of Judaism to return and a real liberated Christian movement to return. Chosen people, there are no chosen people. We choose. Christians choose. You choose God. God's already chosen you. God's already chosen everyone on the planet. Anyone going around saying they're a chosen people, they're deceived. They're controlled by Satan. Okay? Satan is really big right now in the world, and it says there's going to be a lot of false prophets, and there are, unfortunately. Franklin Graham is doomed to hell. He's a deceived pig. Deceived little step pig of Satan is Franklin Graham. Lindsey Graham, no relation, also deceived step pig of Satan. Marco Rubio, Huckabee, these people are all deceived. They're demonic, satanic, deceived demons at this point, unfortunately. Anyone that supports the Greater Israel Project, unfortunately, has been deceived. So have mercy on them. You might have to dispatch them to their maker at some point. I mean, this battle is getting horrible at this point. What we've tolerated and what we've watched them do and condone, the way they treat children, that is demonic. So real Christians, real Jews will return, will emerge, will have to defeat the fake Christians, the fake Jews, the Zionists. Zionists must be defeated in order for there to ever be peace on the planet again. The Zionist must be destroyed.